trying to figure out how to go about this record. There's so much information, more than I bargained for. Gathering some interesting information on this song Umbrella by Rihanna at number 33, taking a big drop on my fancy playlist, down from number 15. A lot of big drops on this fancy playlist. July 15th, 2007, Rihanna featuring Jay-Z off of Jay-Z's record label, which was called Rockefeller, I believe. And Rihanna was on that record label. Well, first off, the song was written by a couple of people, well, mainly written by a guy named Tyrius N Dream Nash. Tyrius N Dream, I remember N Dream. Might have had some R&B hits back in the day. Well, he wrote the song Me Against the World by Britney Spears. And he's also worked with remember B2K and Nivea. Now we're talking about the early 2000s. The song, the metaphors just gushed out of him. He was in a song. Boy, it's glorious. It is fantastic when you get in the song, you come up with a great piece of art. He wrote it in 15 minutes. Finished the song in 15 minutes. About imagining himself having a friend who's there for him, and the other way around, vice versa, like an umbrella. When it storms, when it rains, it pours. But it sure is nice to have an umbrella, a good friend. Great metaphor. Song also co-written by, at least he got some of the credit for it. His name was Tricky Stewart. Well, the song was massive, all over the world. Debuted at number 1 in England, based on digital downloads alone. It was number 1 in England for 10 weeks. It fell to number 3 on the 11th week. It beat a record set by, well, I don't know if it set a record. Gnarls Barkley, Crazy, remember that back in 2006? Great retro R&B record. Boy, that was old school R&B right there. Number 1 in England for 9 weeks, crazy. So we got Umbrella at number 1 for 10 weeks. But one of the records set in England as far as number 1 hits is concerned, Wet Wet Wets, their remake of the Trogs 1960s classic, Love Is All Around. That was number 1 in England for about 14 weeks. That's over 3 months. My goodness. And of course, that was back in 1994. So let's move it back up to 2007. All right, talked about the guy who wrote the song, talked about how it did overseas in England. Now let's bring in Tyre Cruz. I didn't know Tyre Cruz was from England. Thought the guy was American, throwing down on that R&B and that dance music. I thought the dude was from Detroit, Los Angeles, but he's from England. Anyway, Tyre Cruz, he is working with Tricky Stewart. Tricky Stewart had a production company called Red Zone, and Tyre Cruz, he was on the Red Zone production team. Well, Britney Spears was coming out with an album. The album was called Blackout. Her people asked the production company, Red Zone, for some songs. Can you submit us some songs? Tricky Stewart, he submitted Umbrella to Britney Spears. Her people sent it back. They said, it's not a fit. It's not a fit for Britney Spears. Tyre Cruz, he makes a demo of the song. He has a go at it. He had a go at it. And he took it to London and submitted it to his record company, but his record company said, this is not a hit. Forget it, Tyre Cruz. So the song goes to Mary J. Blige, but before Mary J. Blige could record it, Rihanna came out with her version. With some encouragement, it was Jay-Z who forwarded the song, according to one account, to Rihanna. But there is another account. Rihanna was resentful because she gets this song, but it's already been shopped around to all these other people, like Britney Spears, Mary J. Blige. And, well, she thought the song was a fit for her. And she went up to Tyrius Nash. This was at the Grammys. And she said, I want to do this. Umbrella is mine. And she was very passionate about it. She actually, according to account, she grabbed his face. Umbrella is mine. That's what she told the songwriter. Well, she made it hers. There's more to it than that, but I can only get into it so much. I don't want to make this into a 10-minute video. Well, anyway, Rihanna with JC, Umbrella at number 33 on my fantasy playlist, July 15th, 2007.